Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Proper Slide channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Super Mario 3D collection that just came out for the Nintendo Switch a few weeks ago now. I'm going to be giving you my impressions of each game, Super Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and of course Mario Galaxy. So I'm going to be going over all the improvements that have been made, whether I think the improvements are enough, and whether I think the package as a whole is worth your money. And just before we get into this, if you just give this video a like, it really helps out the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So sit back, relax, and get ready for my impressions of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So we're going to start with the oldest first, being Super Mario 64. Now this game is critically acclaimed for many reasons. It was the first real 3D platformer. It was what brought Mario into the 3D space. It was a launch title for the N64. It's a very iconic game. So when I first bought the 3D collection, that was the first game I went to, and I was really looking forward to play it because I'd never played this game before. In fact, I hadn't played any of the games in the All-Stars collection, but I was most looking forward to Super Mario 64 because I'd heard from people everywhere saying it was their favourite game of all time, it stands the test of time, and just that it's an overall great game. And I was aware that they hadn't changed the aspect ratio, it was still 4:3 before I went into the game, but I thought, as that was how it was initially intended anyway, I wouldn't really notice and I'd get used to it. But I played a few levels in the game, and I quickly realised I don't like how the camera controls. Now I know the camera controls back then were still very primitive and they did work for the game, but I think it's because I'm used to the much better camera controls in games like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and other Nintendo games that have come out recently. Going back to basically the first version of a 3D camera was really difficult, and it wasn't even difficult to where I just had to get used to it. I just didn't like the camera. I didn't feel like I could move it to where I wanted it to go. So much so that I stopped playing after a few hours because I just could not get used to the camera. There are other issues as well, like it being in 4:3, I felt did actually hinder my experience of the game. I felt I couldn't see the whole stage properly. The fact that it was 720p didn't really bother me. I couldn't really tell when I was playing it on my TV. So that wasn't really an issue for me. But I think it's for the fact that I've played newer Mario games and then gone back to a game that I'd never played before. I don't really have any nostalgia for it. I never owned a Nintendo 64. So I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't finish it. I do plan on going back and trying to just finish it because of the fact that it is an iconic game. I think if you have nostalgia for Mario 64 or you've played it before, then you should be fine. It's just a slightly nicer looking version of the game you've already played. Content-wise, there is no new content. That's the same for all three games. But still, if you enjoyed it before, you'll still enjoy it now. But I think if you're someone like me who never grew up with it, you might struggle with the camera and just the look in general, and it being a 4:3 aspect ratio. But if you can get past that, I'm sure it is a fun game, and I do plan, like I say, to go back and try it again. But obviously these are just my first impressions, so what I decided to do was just skip past that game and move on to the next game in the collection, which is Super Mario Sunshine. Now Super Mario Sunshine, like I said, I've never actually played it before. I always wanted it when I was younger. I wanted to get it for my Wii because my Wii had GameCube compatibility. But I realised I'd need the GameCube controllers, and me only being like 12 years old, I didn't really want to get a new controller just for one game, so I never bothered trying to get it. But it was always in the back of my mind. I always thought it looked fun. I thought FLUDD looked good. I thought the stages looked fun. There's a lot of iconic bosses in that game. So I was looking forward to playing Super Mario Sunshine, and I had a much better experience with Super Mario Sunshine than Mario 64. They did actually increase the aspect ratio to 16:9, which, although I've never played the original, I think it greatly improves the experience. I can see more of the stage. It just feels like a modern game. Now the graphics are They're not awful. They're you can tell they are dated, but they're not bad. When you upscale them to 1080p, it doesn't look bad at all. So I ended up playing much more Mario Sunshine. I think I played about 8 to 10 hours of Mario Sunshine, and I did have fun with it. But I do have some issues with it. I think the controls are a bit weird. It's sort of all or nothing. So if you move Mario and you don't really notice this in the regular stages, but the stages where you remove FLUDD from Mario and you just do regular platforming, I find those really difficult. Some of the earlier ones aren't too bad, but some of them are quite difficult, and I'm pretty sure it's down to the controls, because I've played Mario Galaxy 2. I haven't played Galaxy 1 until I got this collection, but I've never had that type of problem with Galaxy 2, and same with Odyssey. So yeah, the controls are a bit weird. The camera in Sunshine is better. It's better than Super Mario 64. I have had it get caught on certain parts of certain stages, and I know it's notorious for doing that, but it is miles better than the camera in Mario 64. FLUDD, I think, for this type of game is a good addition. I think if they just had Mario on his own, I don't think it would be that good, as good of a game because of the regular platforming controls without FLUDD. So I do like FLUDD quite a bit. I quite like how it feels like you're exploiting the stage when you're using FLUDD. Like you can just do a backflip and then use FLUDD's hover ability to just hover over most of the stage. I really enjoy that. I feel like I'm going outside of what developers intended. Even though they probably did intend it, it feels really cool to do. Now my issue with Mario Sunshine, again, is an issue with the game itself, not really with the port, but the way Mario Sunshine works is each shine is basically its own stage. And so most of these stages are fine, but you'll get to certain ones that are ridiculously difficult or just confusing. I got confused with a couple of them. And the problem with this is you can't just skip that level and go to the next one. You have to complete the levels in order for each stage anyway. But I still did have fun with the game. As I went on, I did find that I was just sort of pushing myself through it rather than having fun. And I don't know if I was just getting bored of it. I'm not really sure, because the thing with Mario Sunshine is the theme is entirely a seaside resort. There's not really much variation in the stages, so it could be that. But in terms of the port, I think the port's good. If you liked Mario Sunshine before, you're definitely going to like it this time. And even if you haven't played it before, I think it is a pretty good Mario game. Not as good as Odyssey or Mario Galaxy 2, but it is still pretty good. It's unique. So while I would recommend that you play these in order, because it seems better, you progress through each generation of game and you see the progression. I think that probably Sunshine is more fun than Mario 64. So if you're not having fun with Mario 64, I'd just skip that and go straight to Sunshine. Sunshine is 30 FPS, which is a bit annoying. Feels like it would be much better in 60 FPS, but yeah, you get used to it. It's not too bad. And again, I haven't completed Sunshine yet, but I'm getting closer to it, and I definitely want to complete this one. Again, similar with Mario 64, if you liked it before, you're going to like it now. It's improved, it's got more improvements than Mario 64. Obviously Nintendo could have done more, they haven't, but it's not awful, it's not too bad. So now we're going to move on to arguably the best game in the collection, Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I've always wanted to play Super Mario Galaxy. I've owned Super Mario Galaxy 2 before. I had it on my Wii, and then I also bought it on the Wii U Virtual Console. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the controls were amazing. I really liked the gravity mechanics. I thought the stages were great. I enjoyed the Starship Mario in the second game. I noticed the second game didn't really have much story, and a lot of people said the first game had a lot more story-wise. So I went in really excited to play it, and I definitely wasn't disappointed. The first game in high definition looks so good. If they put that game out today with a few extra visual improvements, I probably wouldn't be able to tell it's a game from 10, 15 years ago. It looks great, plays amazing, the controls are very tight, very good. the gravity mechanic feels about as good as Galaxy 2. I've had a few more weird problems with Galaxy 1's gravity, sometimes sort of bugging out, but most of the time it's great. I like the intro to Mario Galaxy 1 much more than Mario Galaxy 2. Felt like the stakes were much higher, the UFO, no idea why that's there, but it's great, I really liked it. The game being in 60 FPS as well, you can really tell it makes a huge improvement to the playability of the game. The Wii pointer that you would use to get the star bits was really intuitive in Mario Galaxy 2, but I was a bit worried with Mario Galaxy 1 with the Switch not having a sensor bar, whether it would be as good. And with the Pro Controller, it's obviously not as good as using a Wii controller, but it's pretty close. I've got into the habit now of pressing the R button to reset it every so often. And it's not too bad. I've used the Joy-Cons as well. The problem with the Joy-Cons is when they start to desync, you notice it more, or I do anyway, because it feels at first like there's one-to-one connection with the pointer on the TV and your right Joy-Con. Then as it starts to drift, it feels weird. But I notice on the Pro Controller, I don't notice it as much. Pressing Y to spin, much better. I didn't really have a problem with it in Mario Galaxy 2 on the Wii, but pressing the Y buttons makes it so much easier. I think I'm about halfway through Mario Galaxy 1, and I just want to play more. I haven't had the same issue that I had with the first two games. I just want to play more. It's that fun. The music is great. The orchestral soundtrack is amazing. So again, a lot of the key points about all these games is that if you liked them before, you're going to like them now. And if you didn't like them before, there's not really much to sort of convince you otherwise. I think especially in Sunshine and Mario Galaxy's case, the jump to high definition makes them look much better, especially Mario Galaxy. So to be honest, I've only really enjoyed a third of the games in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. But to be honest, I would have paid $60 just for Mario Galaxy. It's that good, and having the other games is just a bonus. Playing them in handheld mode looks great as well. I haven't actually played Galaxy in handheld mode, so I can't speak on how the pointer feels on that, because in handheld mode you use the pointer with your finger, so I feel like that might not work as well, but I can't really speak on that. But I've played Sunshine in handheld mode and Mario 64 in handheld mode, and they look great, especially Sunshine. Sunshine looks like it was just built for handheld mode. It looks great. So finally, would I recommend you get the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection? Well, I would say yes. If you haven't played any of these games before, I think you're definitely going to like Galaxy, and if you like the other two, that's a bonus. If you've played these games before and want to get back into them, the higher resolutions in all the games really makes them look more modern, especially Sunshine, where it gives a wider aspect ratio. And even if you don't want to play it, it's not going to be sold after March, so if you just want it as a collector's piece, it's definitely worth getting it for that. I've personally got a physical edition. I have opened it to play with it, but I got the physical version because it'll be a collector's item, I assume. So yeah, overall I'd say Nintendo could have done more, but the games that they have included are pretty good on their own. So if you've ever been interested in playing any of these games, I'd say it's definitely worth $60. And if you're interested in multiple, two or all three, then it's a no-brainer. I would definitely buy it. If you played all these games before and don't really have the urge to play them again, in that case, there's no new content, so they don't really give you an incentive to play it again. So I think that would be the only case where I might stay away from the 3D All-Stars collection and maybe get Pikmin 3 that's coming out this month anyway. Maybe get that instead, or the new Hyrule Warriors game. That looks amazing. I'm definitely going to pick that up. But yeah, what do you guys think? If any of you already bought the collection, do you agree with my opinions on all three of the games? Do you agree with some of my opinions? Let me know in the comments down below. Please give me a like, subscribe. Remember, we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you just subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.